Welcome to Realiteen.TALKS. My name is Gary McGuey, high school practice leader for FranklinCovey Education. Each week, we're here to take on the real challenges of teen life. Let's talk. Our topic this week, say yes to peer pressure. Well, let's meet our Realiteen's panel and listen to their thoughts related to this topic. I'd like to introduce you to Nyla, Mary Catherine, and Giovanni. Team, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Thanks for joining us today. Really excited about this topic. So help me understand when we say yes to peer pressure, what does that mean? Like when you hear peer pressure, what are some initial thoughts?
Well, I definitely think of something negative, but as we've been kind of talking about it, there's two sides to it. So it's not always negative.
Yeah, through my 11 years of school, basically, I was only taught about negative peer pressure. And now we're talking about it, we're getting it through. I see positive, and it's all the people around me that I see positive. It's beautiful. We're going to learn more about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally the same thing. We always hear about negative peer pressure all the time. That's all we hear. So to get to know that there's positive peer pressure, that's great.
So thanks for clarifying. We're talking negative peer pressure, we get that, but we want to focus on this thing around positive peer pressure. And so how do we know, because we're talking about relationships, I'm guessing, right? How do we know we're hanging around with people that are modeling positive peer pressure? How do I know I'm modeling peer pressure? How would you respond to that?
I would definitely go ahead and say, how can you, so the question was kind of how can you tell, how can you differentiate, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know that my best friends are my positive peer pressure because we encourage each other to do better, be better. And if we see an opportunity such as volunteering or applying for a new job at school, we tell each other, and that's positive because we want to see each other do better. But you don't always know because you could have a friend that you've been friends with for the longest time. So you can't really tell if they're, slowly egging you on to do negative things. So for example, you have a friend that you've had since pre-K, and so you guys are getting older and slowly you see that they're wanting to go to parties more and do these things, but you're kind of conflicted. You don't know if it's a bad idea or a good idea because they're your friend and they've been your friend forever, but what they're doing isn't something so friendly, and that's negative peer pressure, but it is hard to tell. So there's some things to think about.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, really, one thing that Nyla said was she said if you're conflicted about what they're doing. So I think anytime you have a friend and they're telling you to do things or trying to get you to go along with some idea, if you are conflicted about it and you don't know if it's right, then that may be a red flag to maybe think, okay, maybe it is bad. Because if it's good, then it's just hey, it's good. There's nothing holding you back from it.
Right. And those red flags start to look a little bit yellow if they're your friend forever. So.
Yeah. So as we're talking about this piece around positive peer pressure, what would you, is there a number of your circle, your close friends, a positive peer pressure group? How do you?
Yeah, your circle of influence.
So yeah. Tell me more about that. How do you choose who's going to be within your circle?
Well, I know.
Or out of your circle.
Out of your circle, people you want to keep close or keep kind of far, right? I mean, I think my circle of influence, my close circle that I like to keep close, people I talk to every day, people that I see doing good that want to see me do well, you know what I mean? So that's definitely my circle of friends. So if you can just think, everybody watching, just think people that want to see you do good, and then you also want to see them do good. That's your close circle of influence. So these people you may not talk to every day, but they're still influencing you and you're influencing them, right? But people you want to keep out of your circle are the people that you see doing bad things and you don't want to do that too, or people that you aren't necessarily the nicest to you, or maybe a little bit standoffish, or maybe you don't get the best vibes, and you can tell that those people are out of your circle of influence or out of your close circle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think another thing with the close circle is that the people in your close circle should be people that you trust, and people that, like Nyla said, that want you to do good or whatever. But I think also in other certain situations, there can be people out of your close circle that are positive peer pressure to you. Like, I'll just say for me, I play club volleyball, and I play like in another city. So these girls I go over there with, I don't really know them like that, but they push me to be better as a teammate. So I think that you just have to watch the people that are like around you and see what they're doing and see what they're leading you towards.
Nice. Great example.
That's a good one. Yeah, for me, I'm actually a runner, and runners, we have a strong mindset, and you have to have a strong mindset. So we're always pushing each other. And like, I had a whole bunch of friends before I used to run that I have to drop because they're not in the same path as me, and they will always make me do something, or not make me, tell me something that they want me to do or push me to do something, and it's just like, it's not the right way. And now that I'm a runner, I'm around people that push me to run, people that put motivation in my head. It's a whole group of different people that I'm around now, and it's beautiful. It's led me to a strong path.
What about these people that were maybe your so-called friends initially, and now they make some other choices where you feel, you know what, I'm not aligned with what they're doing anymore? Do we just are they kind of history, or are there things we can do to influence? I heard you use the word influence a few times. Like, how do we influence others?
Yeah, see, I could say hi in there. Like, I don't really spend my time with them. I say hi, let them know that I'm still here. But, everybody that I drop, I give them a chance. I try to bring them on the road that I'm on. And if they don't, like, I bring all my friends to practice. Like, I'm in a neighborhood that's not so great, and I try to bring my friends. Always, I wake them up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we go to practice. And if they don't like it, then, they go their way and I go my way. But the people that I brought so many people onto the team, and so many people that wake up now at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning and just run. And like, their life was never like that. So that's exactly how I deal with mine. Sometimes they got to go and sometimes you can help.
Yeah. But you are walking your talk, right? You're running your talk. Yeah.
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 I think that's awesome. I can say that, I don't know if this is the best way to go about it, but if I notice, like, I can think of someone right now, like, I notice that we kind of do things a little bit differently, and my morals don't necessarily align with theirs, because I don't really like what they're doing. I don't think that it was, right. So I don't know if I should say distance myself. Like, I'm still extremely friendly, and I'll talk to them if they need me. But I just didn't feel like it was my responsibility to tell them right from wrong when they clearly knew. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I like how Giovanni, he would, wake up and wake them up so that they could join him and everything. But I guess me personally, I didn't do that. I guess I just tried to just tell them that I didn't think what they did was the best thing. You know what I mean? But I could have been more lenient, but I definitely just wanted to be out of that situation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You just stand in what you think is right, because you can influence someone without talking to them every day. Like, your attitude and how you act, how you react to things outside of a relationship with them could show them, okay, yeah, this isn't really what I'm supposed to be doing, and maybe lead them back on the right path.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Do you have are you deliberate? Are you aware? Are you cognizant when you're deciding if this person is a positive influence or a positive peer pressure person or a negative? Like, how do you differentiate that?
For me, it gradually happened. Like, it was like Mary Catherine brought up earlier, like, you see red flags, right? So it's like little bitty red flags that'll pop up here and there until eventually there are all these red flags that start to pile up, and I couldn't take it anymore. You can't take it anymore, So you see little things, but you have to keep those in mind, because at the end of the day, that's not somebody. I mean, if you see all these red flags, they're not going to end up being somebody you want to be around. and they're not somebody that that are worthy of your presence, I should say. That'll gradually happen, to answer your question.
Yeah.
And to take that same lane with when it's positive peer pressure, if someone is something that you aspire to be, or they do something that you want to do, or like they have grades that you want to have, or they're nice to their siblings like you want to be. If there's something positive that you want to work towards, then then those are red flags for positive peer pressure.
That's great. Yeah.
We could even say green flags at that.
Say that one again, Nyla.
Said we could even say green flags.
Green
I'm
flags.
with the color of flags. I really am.
Yeah. Green is good. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, green is the good.
So, team, if you were to say, here's the one thing, here's the one piece of advice as a teenager to offer other teenagers when we're talking about this, because I always say the 4 people you hang out with the most, that's who you become. And people go, yeah, that's we get that. What would you share, suggest as a concrete piece of advice? One thing you would suggest.
I hate to keep starting it off, and I just have so much to say at all times. I'm really sorry. But I just want to say, like, think about, okay, so the 4 people you hang around the most, think about what you do when you're with them, how you feel after you're with them, and also, how do your parents feel about them? Now, your parents, they will notice things before you notice them. I mean, they will really notice, and you kind of like brush it off. He's like, oh, it's my parents, but really they notice it because you're like blind, because you want to be around them. Like, you think you're having fun, but your parents can kind of see if you've changed, or they can just tell how people are. So, those are things to take into account, and something you should take away, like what you're doing, how you feel after, how you feel during it, what your parents think. Because a lot of times, your friends too, some of your friends will tell you that they're not the best person to be around. Like, you'll notice it's not just gonna happen one day. Like, it's gradual.
Yeah. Nice. Mary Catherine?
I think you also have to figure out what you want to be, or who you want to be, or what type of person that you want to portray, or what type of attitude. Because then as you're going on, as it's progressing, like Nyla said, you'll figure out who is lining up with that idea of what you want to be. And then if they're not, and it's something negative, and not necessarily it's always negative, it could be something that you didn't think of, and it's like, oh, I do want to be like that, so I need to draw that person in. But I think you have to know yourself first, know where you are as a person, know where you want to be. And then you get to choose, okay, they're pulling me in the right direction.
Very wise comment. Know yourself first, right? Inside out. Yeah. Giovanni, what are your thoughts?
What everybody's saying is know yourself. You got to know what you want. And your parents do know a lot. They see attitude. They've been around you forever. Just be open-minded when it comes to your parents' thoughts, and friends too. I mean, some friends can notice it. Like, your best friends probably see you hanging around with somebody else, and they know you're changing. And just be open-minded. Don't hate a person for giving you advice or trying to help you out, because in the long run, they're probably just trying to help you.
Guys, this was outstanding. I really appreciate your thoughts and wisdom. We're looking forward to future discussions with this team. Other than that, thank you so much to sharing some light about positive peer pressure for everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to Realiteen Talks on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify, and leave a review or comment. We'd love to hear from you.